So hi everyone, welcome back to the AmBIssadors. I'm Vaneet.
And I'm Lo, and today we are joined by another amazing guest, Libby. Libby, do you want to introduce yourself?
My name's Libby. I'm a bi activist, been going on 15 years or so now, and I run an organisation called Biscuit, which I guess we'll get into later.
Awesome. So today is another instalment kind of in our series on exploring bi activism. What does the bi activist scene look like? What are people working on? So yeah, we're going to chat to Libby a little bit about Biscuit and some of the projects that she does through that. So Libby, could you maybe just start off by telling us a little bit about what Biscuit does?
People ask me that question a lot, and I've still not got an answer, because Biscuit just does what needs to be done at any given moment. We don't have a massive set of goals or anything. We work for the community, so what the community needs. We do advocacy, especially for bi women, and we run some events. But all of those things are based on what the community is asking for at any given moment. Mm-hmm. It's always best to respond, I think, to what people are telling you they want, rather than guessing what they want.
Definitely.
Cool. How long has Biscuit been going on for, and how did you get involved with it?
Biscuit started as a magazine, actually. It started as like an online magazine by a lovely woman called Lottie Dingle. She set it up in 2013. I got involved the following year, 2014, and we started to move away from being a magazine and to being an organisation that actually does things. So we haven't updated our website for 5 years. But we have got a lot done in the meantime. Lottie is an amazing activist. She's a writer, but it was just time for her to move on and do something else, so I took over, and I've been running the show since middle of 2014.
Amazing. Biscuit was actually kind of how I got my start in bi activism as well, because I remember meeting you the first bi fest that I went to several years ago.
I remember it.
And saying, I think I wanna maybe write a few, like just a few things about bisexuality. And you were like, yeah, sure. And now here we are many years later, and it's taken over my life.
That's what bi activism does. It takes over people's lives, and we burn out as well, but most of us get there in the end.
So how did you get started in activism? What was the first things that you got involved in? What was your journey before Biscuit?
The first thing I got involved in would have been running BiCon. So I wasn't a seasoned activist or anything when I decided. I went to my first BiCon in 2006. And in 2007, I decided to get involved and join the team, and I did the marketing for that year. I then did the same in 2007, took 2008 off, and was on the team again in 2008. It kind of takes over your life, does BiCon. People really love it, and it becomes a passion project for anyone who's involved. And that's really what gave me the confidence to do any other bits of activism that I've done. I then started getting into writing articles. So I wrote for XO Jane, and I wrote for the F Word about bisexuality. I wrote a lot for Biscuit when it was still just a magazine. And then when the opportunity to take over Biscuit came along, I just kind of grabbed it with both hands, and I didn't know what I was doing. I think that's a really important point to make, is I didn't come into this like super qualified. I just had confidence and energy, and that's really all you need to be an activist.
Cool. So I wanted to ask, when you were writing those articles in like pre-2010 for places like Exo Jane, which I've actually not heard of, and the F Word, what was the kind of reception you were getting to those?
Well, I was already quite active on Twitter at the time. So I guess I got a lot of love for it, but I didn't look further than my own Twitter feed because I'm not a masochist.
Solid advice, to be honest.
Yeah. I got lots and lots of like kind of mutuals telling me how great it was and how they loved to see the representation, especially talking about the things that I was talking about, which was obviously bisexuality and feminism. But if anyone was going to hate on it, I wasn't going to see it. You know, I never go out looking for opinions. I was going to say because I don't hate myself, but obviously I do hate myself. I'm just not a massive masochist.
I think that's really good advice to anyone who's doing like bi activism and making bi content, is you don't need to go out your way to find the hate. Like it will get through eventually.
It will get through.
Yeah.
Even if it does creep through, you're so surrounded by lovely people who want you to succeed. It really kind of buffers it. It's a good thing to have that closer circle, people properly fight for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a really good advice. Like everyone always says it, never read the comments, and I think it's a really good advice because like a couple of the articles that I have written for Metro, I went and read the comments, and it was just the typical kind of stuff that you would expect of like, why is this important? Why is this person whining? Blah blah blah. Like,
yeah, just don't read it. Yeah, it's so hard because people want feedback, and it's a natural thing to go and want to engage with the content that you've put out there. But you'll learn eventually. Unfortunately, it's not a very nice lesson.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I think we all definitely have learned that lesson at some point. So tell us a bit more about the events that Biscuit has done.
We do all sorts of events. So just before lockdown, we were about to launch a monthly meetup group. That didn't happen because, you know, coronavirus has ruined everyone's fun. We get involved with events that other people are running as well. So we'll always try and be at BiFests and BiCons. We've done a couple of online events over lockdown. So for BiVis Day, we did a massive meetup on Zoom that had people from, I think, 3 or 4 different countries turned up to. That was really fun. And personally, this is not technically a BiCon project. Sorry. This is not technically a Biscuit project, but I also run a pub night called Biche, where we get some DJs in, have usually about 150 people turn up to just dance their nights away. And that's one of my favorite projects, is Biche, because it's not about the bad things that happen to us. It's not about everyone sitting around and solemnly talking about their trauma, which is a valid thing to do, but it's about everyone getting together, having a dance, building a community, and just being in a space where bi people are the overwhelming majority. Yeah. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. I'm really sorry. Like,
we'll cut this bit.
ruin your content. I was just like, yeah, cut that bit out.
Yeah, I went to, I think, the first Biche that you did, and I remember you were playing, like, a lot of Dolly Parton was played, and I think being in a room with like 100 bisexuals all dancing, singing to Dolly Parton was just like the height of my bisexual career.
Yeah, it's awesome. I really can't wait to get back as soon as social distancing is lifted and it's safe for as many people as possible, we will be starting Bish up again, and we're also going to be adding another night to our roster, which will be called Pick and Mix, as in MX, which will be our non-binary dance party.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's what you've got coming in 2021, hopefully.
Yeah, I always wanted to go to a beach, but it got, I think the one I was trying to get to was the one which was after Bi Pride, because you kind of did like the unofficial Bi Pride
After party, yeah.
But I didn't get a ticket in advance because my day was so hectic. I was like, I don't know what my day is going to look like. And then it had sold out, and it was sold out on the door, and I was like,
yeah, we do always sell out. You would always recommend getting your tickets in advance, because we will sell out, and you know, you can't really sneak extra people in because of health and safety stuff. As much as I would love to just put you under my coat and just sneak you in, we'd probably get in trouble, and then we get shut down. We don't want that.
But that does show just how big the demand is for this kind of event and this kind of bisexual space where it is just us having fun and enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's so necessary. Sorry, Lo.
No, I was just going to say, I was going to say that, especially when there's so few bisexual, just like social nights and dance nights and times when we can just be together and have fun. And like you said, there's so much demand for that.
Yeah. It's not to say that all the other stuff that we do isn't useful too. You know, the coffee meetups are really valuable, and the get-togethers where we all get together and talk about biphobia or talk about, you know, whatever is going on at the moment that we need to tackle, and then the activism meetups that we do, they're all valuable in their different ways. And I would never want to say kind of to denigrate that, but just when you can let your hair down, that was really something that was missing from the bi scene in London and all over the country. There aren't many other nights there are none that I know of at the moment that are doing that. There used to be one in Manchester. And
Biphoria ran one, didn't they?
Say again?
I think Biphoria ran one at one point.
Biphoria ran one, yeah. And there used to be a night called Greedy, great name. But yeah, it didn't last, unfortunately. So it's just you gotta keep on going when the money's not coming in, just because people really need it, and the money is what stops people doing things all the time. It's really sad and completely understandable.
Yeah, we've talked a lot on this channel about the underfunding in bi communities and bi initiatives, and how we're all just like running GoFundMes for each other.
Yeah, constantly.
What would you say is some of the favorite things that you did prior to Biscuit?
All my favorite things have been Biscuit things, honestly. Like,
what your favorite Biscuit things are?
My running the float has been one of my favorite Biscuit things, the Pride in London float. What else? I love running the Twitter account, actually. I know it's such a small thing, and we're not a massive account. We've got just over 6,000 followers. But just talking to other bi people and being there and being able to give them advice or links to services, or just having a laugh with them as well on social media. That's not a big shiny thing. It's not like I'm not going to get on the New Year's honours list for running a Twitter account, but it's definitely one of my favorite things.
I wish you would get on the New Year's honour account for the Biscuit.
I don't think they're ready for us quite yet.
And so this year, obviously it's been really hard to do anything, but you did manage to do through Biscuit a really cool bi visibility campaign. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, that was an awesome campaign. We managed to partner with a digital media company, and a great digital artist called Claire. to produce some BIVIS Day posters featuring the BIVIS jackets that you may have seen about in the wild. I'll put some links somewhere for you, so you can kind of know what we're talking about. So we managed to get together and build a campaign that was on digital billboards all over the country. 25 billboards up and down the country, all in England. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get out of our little England, but it was the first time any project like that had taken place, and it was an awesome piece of artwork, and we reckon about 500,000 people probably saw the campaign.
That's awesome.
So I'm really chuffed. Absolutely thrilled with that. Whether we'll do it again, I don't know, because it's very easy to do something for the first time because everyone's excited for it to happen, but it's doing something for the second time, a lot of the enthusiasm is lost, and with the enthusiasm, so goes the money.
Mm-hmm.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's the way it goes. So whether we'll do it again is a question that's still in the air, but we'll probably just come up with another awesome project to do instead.
Because we definitely found that, because I worked quite closely with you on the Buy Float project, and we definitely found the next year that it was quite hard to get it moving again, and then luckily Pandas stepped in.
Yeah, they were great.
And run their Buy Float. So who knows what's going to happen next year in terms of Buy Floats?
I've got an idea.
Ooh.
I've got an idea. I want the biggest Buy flag in the world.
I love it.
And we can do that with a walking group.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or have it made. Maybe we'll actually spend some money and have it made. The biggest Buy flag that we can get our hands on.
Do you happen to know how big the current biggest one is? I
believe it's 15 feet.
Ooh, so we should aim for at least 20 then.
So I'm thinking 20, yeah. But it's hard to find out because, you know, the people who have the current biggest Buy flag, I don't want to say to them, hey, we want to outdo you. So we want to be better than you, so can you tell us what you've got? You know, you can't really say that to someone, so you've got to be a bit sneaky about finding out.
I think that's a mission for anyone watching, is to sneakily find out how big that flag is and tell us.
And then of course we've got to make sure Pride in London let us have it as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
That's the two roadblocks that we currently have, but I don't see why we can't get over them for the next time, whether it's in 2021 or 2022, whenever the next Pride in London is, we're going to have the biggest Buy flag, even if I have to sew it myself.
I mean, yeah, who knows when the next Pride will be?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
But you've also got another project coming up, which is a Biscuit revamp.
We are working behind the scenes at the moment on a brand new website for Biscuit, which will have lots of artwork and advice and more details about what Biscuit is. The big techie part is almost done. And it looks so shiny, and we've been really lucky that our coders have all volunteered, and web designers have all volunteered their time because they're wonderful people. So yeah, that bit's done, and we're just about to start working on actually filling it with content, and deciding what that content is going to be. So, you know, feel free to like put stuff in the comments. I'm getting this YouTube thing now. Down there. So yeah, that's going to be launching at the beginning of next year, hopefully. and it will have all sorts of stuff, but a lot of advice for people coming out, a lot of advice on how to deal with biphobia. We hope that it's going to be a properly useful resource, as well as a shiny look at us website.
Amazing. I think that's so important now in particular. I, the other day, while going back through my book references, tried to find something on the BiNet USA website to find that it's completely gone.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
All that years and years and years of work on the website all disappeared.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like maybe someone needs to make an archive website of all of their stuff, whatever they can find or salvage. But yeah, that's a pretty sad event.
It's really sad. You should do a video on the whole BiNet USA saga.
We made a flag video when the saga was happening, just about what the bi flag means to us, and we had some people share their thoughts as well. But
hashtag our bi flag.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's a potential idea that we can chat about. Is there anything else that's coming up for Biscuit? Anything that you are looking forward to? Any insider secrets?
At the moment, it's pretty much just the website that we're building. That's taking up quite a lot of my time at the moment, and also getting ready for lockdown to be over and for COVID to be less of a threat, so we can start our meetup groups. It's really difficult to do anything at the moment. You know, we can't meet up with each other. And I don't know about you, but I am so zoomed out.
Yeah.
I am like, Zoom. I'm so I've got Zoom fatigue.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see what happens. And, you know, like I said, we're always listening to what the community wants. So you tell us really what you want from Biscuit next.
Has there been any interesting suggestions that you would love to do?
Yeah, there are always suggestions. People are often say to us they'd like us to attend more prides up and down the country. And I'd love to be able to do that, but financially it's just impossible. We do send resources to dozens of prides, and we do have Biscuit merch at lots of prides, but actually being there ourselves is just impossible for us. People also ask for more merch. So we've got the Biscuit shop, and people are always asking for t-shirts. And that, again, that's another thing that is just financially not viable to us, unless someone wants to give us a few £1,000s to get started, or just in general, just give us money. You know, there's not a huge amount that we can do, but we do make lists. You know, I have got a Google Doc of all the suggestions that people make. People have asked for a podcast, which the only reason I haven't done that is because I don't have the tech skills. But we keep all the ideas, and if suddenly we get the resources, we will see what we can do.
Yeah, I think if we get the resources is the mantra of the bi activist community.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Libby, is there anything else you want to add on about Biscuit or your activism, or anything you want to say to bi people?
Oh God, so much. There's so much that I want to say to bi people. Like, you're totally valid and everything's fine most of the time. And do activism, it's great. But nothing that I've actually thought about, you know, that I've got anything sensible to say, just lots of headlines like that.
I think it's fine most of the time is a message that does get lost quite a lot in amongst. Obviously, we all have to keep shouting about like bi experiences, but sometimes it can just feel that you're like, well, is this ever positive? But actually, yeah, like
actually most of the time it is, yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to.
I mean, like bi biphobia exists, but we're not like all constantly under its heel. And, you know, self-doubt exists, but we're not all constantly suffering from it. And, you know, most days you can go out and nothing bad happens. And that's maybe not the most perfect message in the world, but it's true, and it's something to hold on to.
Yeah, it's something I'm trying to show in my book as well a little bit. It's like showing a lot of the negative experiences and how a lot of the biphobia and stuff plays out in different scenarios, such as like dating or health, but then showing that there are positive experiences as well, and they do exist, and people are out there.
Yeah, we got to be good.
Having a good time being bi.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you so much for joining us, Libby.
My pleasure.
And we will put a link to Biscuit below so people can find the new shiny website when it's launched in 2021.
When it's finally launched, probably in March, I reckon.
My birthday.
Well, you know, we might even be able to have a party by then.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed.
So
thank
you for having me.
Sorry?
Thank you for having me. It's really fun to talk to you guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching. Leave a comment down below about the things that you want Biscuit to do, or things you want out of bi activism, or anyone that you'd want us to interview. Let us know, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.